Today I'm going to do something in the orchard I've never done. The owner of this property has fond memories of playing hide and seek in her aunt's muscadine arbors. So we're going to try to recreate that here on her dairy farm. These arbors are going to be at the top of the rows in this orchard. We're going to pull out this quince here and put the other two right behind me. Follow me over here and I'll show you how we're going to get started. We're going to pull this quince out here. I believe it was a rootstock. It was here on the property when they moved in. The first thing that I do when I'm planting a tree or anything is I dig the hole 1.5 times the depth of the root ball or the pot of the plant. Then I take and I angle the hole at a 45, breaking up the soil around the sides so that way the roots can penetrate deeply. And remember, the depth is 1.5 times the size of the root ball or the pot, and that half layer I put decompacted soil back in the hole so that way the roots have some decompacted soil to get into. We then plant everything above grade because we're going to get the clay soil settling, and that way when the soil settles, the tree, or in this case the muscadine vine, won't be too far below grade. We've got our holes dug, 1, 2, and the third one right here by this quince right there. This is what you can expect when you get bare root muscadines. I let them soak in a bucket of water for, I don't know, about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. They've been in the refrigerator for a couple months, so hopefully they're still alive and they'll wake up ready to grow. Let's get these things in the dirt. All right, so I got 3 different types. I don't really know what types are better than the other, but I think I picked all of the improved varieties that Isons makes. Isons Nursery, if you go to their website, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be muscadines right on their main homepage, because I think that's what they're most known for. But man, they've got everything. I pick up all my strawberry ground cover from them, trees. They've got just about everything and a lot of great varieties that Home Depot, your local nurseries don't have. So we've got Fry Seedless, Dixie Red, and Magnolia. I don't know which way we're gonna put what, but I bet you we could probably take a few of these and root them ourselves. Let's see, still green underneath, cool. So you can see we've got a nice little root system here. And I don't want to bury it all the way to the ground, or maybe I do, because grapes tend to root pretty easily like willow and figs and other things, so maybe burying them actually would be beneficial, but I don't know. So we're going to plant them just how I plant all other fruit trees. Like I said, dig the hole 1.5 times the depth of your root ball, and then I plant it above grade so that way when the soil settles, it'll be at grade and won't be underground getting strangled out by too much compacted clay soil. Magnolia. Fry Seedless. I feel like Dixie Red should go in the middle. I got this from Billy Bond at Permapastures Farm. Put your soil on a piece of cardboard so that way you can easily backfill it and you don't lose any in the grass. That being said, we've got a bunch of our dried out topsoil here that I'm gonna break up and put up on top, but I'm gonna backfill it the way it came out, breaking up the big clods and setting the rocks to the side if they're big enough. If they're little pebbles, I don't mind them. That's how the soil is, that's how the roots are gonna have to be, but if they're big enough to grab like a big skipping rock, I'm gonna pull them to the side. Cracks me up in my comments section when people are like, oh, I've got clay soil. It's not that bad. I don't think you understand real clay soil, because you can tell this is rich red clay dirt and most of the time full of rocks. If it's wet, it's like a clay pot you're digging in. Let's see, where'd this one go? This one it? No, that's the seedless. Here we are. Still pretty far off. So I'm gonna take and I'm gonna detangle these roots just to spread them out. You want to plant bare root trees almost like your hand, spreading out and touching the ground. You want to get as much of that root mass spread out in the hole as you can. So that way it's not just either a spear into the ground or a ball sitting on top. When I spread it out, it goes below the hole. I'm breaking up the clods and separating the bigger rocks so that way we don't get any air pockets in this soil here, which is pretty easy to do when you're dealing with clay soil. All right, now I'm going to take and build a little mound for this to sit on for the roots to spread out on top. And then when it settles, it'll be nice and elevated, and the roots will have something to dig into. All right, now I've taken and spread the roots out across the top of that mound, and we're gonna take and backfill it with the native soil and then cover it up with some saturated cardboard and hardwood bark mulch to finish the job. And when you get done, this is what it should look like. A small mound that'll settle down a little bit above grade, be able to breathe, and those surface roots should be able to stretch out underneath the mulch. Let's soak the cardboard and finish up planting the tree. Get this thing watered in with some mulch. It's day 2 on the muscadine installation. We ran out of sunlight the other day, so we're back at it to finish it up. Let me show you where we're at. So we've got everything planted, mulched, watered in, ready to go. And now I'm putting up what I call tree tubes. These are gonna make the vines go from laying on the ground to vertical. Now this one here has got essentially a central leader already, so we'll prune off some of those and get this growing straight up. So that way we can get it up into the arbor. And the same with this one down here, which you can see, I've already put in the tube. But this one here has got 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you train them all up and then sprawl them out across the top? You know what I mean? We'd have all 4 coming up, and then each one would go to a corner on the arbor. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments what we're supposed to do, and I'll leave this one for y'all to decide. I'm a big fan of these Plantra Sunflex tree tubes. If you've got grapes or barefoot whips, they work well. We did these last year and you can see they're working out well. These will be ready to be trellised along this driveway here shortly. Little pause on the way back to the muscadines to check out this Arkansas black apple tree, loaded with blossoms. We're gonna have to come through and thin these out. You can see right here, we've already got apples set fruit. When you order these, it essentially comes as a kit. You get a bunch of tubes, stakes, and then this post pounder, which actually when I first got it, I was like, this isn't gonna work, but it actually works pretty well. A line is marked on it for how high the soil needs to go. Let me show you. First, I'm gonna come through here and thin out all these cuttings, these little wisps at the bottom, so we don't want those to grow. Essentially, I probably won't have to pound it in that far. There we go. So that's the bottom of the hole. Last thing we have to do, put the tube on. It's perforated for you to put these little brown twist ties on it that come with. I lost those, so we're just gonna use some zip ties. Now, as I mentioned, I'm new to muscadines, so if you guys are watching and you guys grow muscadines, tell me what I'm doing wrong or what we're gonna run into. You see it's already perforated here. I did one there. Super simple. There we go, pretty easy. That's it for the muscadines for now. Part 2, we're gonna build the arbors to go around these, so that way next year, hopefully we can train these up and over. Put in the comments and let me know, should we train all 4 of those vines straight up onto the arbor, or should we prune it down to 1 central leader? Remember, it's up to you to leave a legacy on your land. I'll see you next time in the orchard.